I'm done with Doom Eternal. Announcing that has been on my mind for a while because it feels like the way I like to cover this game has come to an end. Doom Eternal has been covered in so many ways in the 2 to 3 years since it came out. News, speculation, speedrunning, guides, multiplayer, controversies, rumors, reviews. And I have always enjoyed talking about it from a design philosophy angle, as well as overlooked strategies that I thought could make the game more fun for some people. And looking back on all the stuff I've put out, I'm pretty happy with it. I started with the Marauder video, as most of you know, and then quickly went into weapon tech with the mods I found most interesting. I'll forever be proud of being associated with Full Auto, and to a lesser extent Microwave Beam and Remote Det. We ran the Doom Eternal podcast for 2 years right here on this channel with my good friends P&D Ketchup and the Spud Hunter, and I look forward to doing more with them someday. I've gotten to know so many people in the Doom Eternal community, smaller YouTube channels, popular Twitch streamers, and best of all, the regular players who just enjoy the game. In 2022, I decided I wanted to focus on the game's legacy. I'd already covered most of what I wanted, and it was time to both look back on what the game had done and look forward to the future. We started off the year with something I had wanted to do for a long time, a 1440p playthrough of the base campaign and both DLCs on Ultra Nightmare using a variety of weapon mods and tactics, reflecting my personal playstyle and creating something that would be a little more chaotic and entertaining for the common audience to watch. Something that could be looked back on in the years to come, showing off why this game is just so damn cool. A couple months later, I put out the Tag 2 controversy video, which shows not just the history of a dark moment in the community, but also the history of modern Doom design philosophy and where they've led us as players. In the summer, we talked about what I expect to see in the next id Software game, as well as warned people about having certain expectations based on their current areas of comfort. And finally, to wrap it all up in a nice little bow, a video on the influence of Doom Eternal on the first-person shooter scene. We're seeing the DNA of Doom Eternal in so many good shooters this year, it's inspiring. And seeing how God of War Ragnarok ended up implementing a lot of the combat incentive philosophy in its own way gives me hope that the influence isn't just going to be felt in the indie scene, but in a few AAA titles as well. This doesn't mean I'm never going to talk about Doom Eternal again. It's an excellent modern example of many aspects of smart design, and it's going to be influencing titles going forward. It will always be a high reference point. I just brought up the platforming in my video about God of War's instructional puzzles, so when I feel like making a comparison, I will. Just don't expect any big Doom Eternal think pieces in the future. I may return to talk about a community mod, and when there's substantial news about the next game, I'll be here. So it's not like I'm never going to talk about it. It's just that the way I cover Doom Eternal has come to a close, and I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who has come around here over the past few years to enjoy the videos and join the discussion. I wouldn't be here without you. Like Jenny from the block, I'll always know where I came from. I'm looking forward to going into my 4th year focused on this channel and community, so again, thank you for being here. Join the Discord and get to know some cool people, catch me here and there on Twitch. Thank you to everyone who watches, comments, donates on Patreon, and makes this experience as great as it can be. It certainly has been an interesting year, full of ups and downs, but in the end, it was another good one. Now it's time to ride off into the sunset, so to speak, regarding my Doom Eternal content. I am under no illusions that the next game will impact me and mark my life the way this game did. There are very few games that come along and actually change me. Resident Evil 1, Mortal Kombat 9, Doom Eternal. It's a privileged list, it doesn't happen often, and an experience like this must be cherished. I wish I could go back to March 20th of 2020 and play the game again for the first time, as the person I was. It was one of the greatest gaming experiences I'd ever had, and back then no one knew this channel. If I knew what I know now, I would have recorded my playthrough because I'm dying to see how I played back then. The closest I can get is looking at those early gameplay videos, but that doesn't really capture the moment. This game came along in a really bizarre and uncertain moment for me, and for a lot of people. Just 1 week after the whole world shut down, it gave a lot of us a much-needed escape from the dark reality that had just arrived at our door. Many of us lost friends, family, and in the end, a part of ourselves. I don't feel the same in society after this. I'm sure many of you don't either. This game and the coverage around it helped a lot of us deal with those dark times. On a personal note, I lost a substantial amount of my employment in those starting weeks, and it was just sheer chance that my channel took off at the same time. I just made that one video about the Marauder and suddenly my life changed. An opportunity came along that helped me make ends meet, when in reality I may not have even been able to keep a roof over my head if it hadn't happened. I got lucky when many others didn't. I'll always feel a little guilty about that, but I'm grateful. Grateful to have something like this where I can express myself, interact with people, learn, teach, and in the end have a more positive impact on the world than a negative one, even though sometimes I do overstep and tip the balance. So yeah, thank you. Thank you to the viewers, and thank you Doom Eternal for being the fun, perspective-changing, broken, crazy game you are. I'll never forget you.